So
Okay,
fingers
good.
crossed for WCS.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, all right.
I heard a
Well,
lot of the pricing and shit's really messed up, but
I mean, it's just nothing to write home about. It's something. It's esports, but it's it's 30K for first place. So, that's it's not a lot. It is what it is. But it's a lot of people are just desperate for anything, and it's something fun to compete in. So, as long as your expectations aren't too high, you won't be disappointed. Put it that way. But yeah, all right. Well, how's you said things have been kind of up and down. It's been a while since
yeah,
we've spoke. I mean, almost a year, I think. Wait,
I have no idea. I like bounce between coaches to
yeah,
especially like you're really busy and a little on the more expensive side, so
yeah, of
sometimes
course,
I tend to shy away from that.
yeah.
Uh,
So
so the
what the
broke.
frick made you so desperate?
Um, I just am like kind of I thought I'd revisit you. I thought you could really maybe help my queen.
Sure,
I got some other VODs that kind of helped, and I just thought you could give it another like perspective on it, I guess.
sure.
I think it's a tank I'm really struggling on right now, and as like an Overwatch 2 tank, you kind of do need to learn like everything, otherwise you're benched or
Yeah,
um you're not looked as like you're like, oh, he's a monkey one trick on Zarya or something, and so
yeah,
it's just or easy predictable. I don't know. It's just I want to be
yeah,
the best I can, so.
yeah. Of course. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Um, I'm just skimming through your form really quick.
Yeah,
How
I didn't
has
remember.
your yeah? I mean, it's
What's
been a while. But how's the training
that?
structure, training schedule been? Because it sounds like it's been pretty intensive.
Up and down. I've always played.
Yeah.
I always play every season. Like I probably have like 400 games played on my main or something like that at
Okay.
least. I don't know. It's like lately though, I've just been so into it. Like I've enjoying scrimming. I've enjoying botting like those scrims. It's like it feels competitive. Like I've played in some tournaments recently with some friends and so it's been just fun. So I've been more inclined to play more, I guess.
Why?
Why have I felt like more inclined to
Yeah.
play? Like
Did you know
I
any
don't know.
idea? Just
Just
felt.
things are just feeling a little bit. I mean, definitely people are coming back for WCS. A lot more people are more active. I feel like that's like a big thing because there's that kind of dead time where no one really
Yeah.
cared about what was going on. Because I think it was like flash ops or whatever. I didn't end up getting a team for that. XONA picked up everyone but me, so that was quite painful.
Ouch.
Like literally, like they got 3 supports and like 3 DPS, and they just got a different tank. So
Ouch.
it was just like, yeah, it was a good team too. Anyway, so after that, I was kind of sad about it. So I just kind of didn't
Yeah.
play for like a week. But like after that, I was like, I'll play again. And I don't know. I think also I think I'm pretty confident in my Ramatra. So like I've been playing like in owl lobbies and shit, and kind of going crazy. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I went like 5-1 yesterday in like owl lobbies. So
Sure. Sure. I guess what I'm saying here is it's like sometimes it's hard to really put your finger on like why something feels fun, like why something feels
right,
productive. But I think if nothing else, taking those good times and trying to be like, man, how am I thinking about the game right now? Or
right,
what is my environment like, and trying to replicate as best as you possibly can. Because I think satisfaction is an art, it's like, why am I feeling like I'm enjoying what I'm doing? It's like sometimes it's hard to replicate, but you can at least learn what to avoid, like maybe are you putting a ton of pressure on yourself right now?
oh yeah, definitely. I'm managing and like I'm paying for like a ton of coaching and stuff like that, and
Right. And yet you're
all this
still
stuff.
enjoying yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what about that pressure has been able to be productive? Is it because you feel like you're doing well? What will happen when maybe you go on a bit of a loss streak, or you have a tough, section with the team? How are you going to respond to that? Because I think you just have to understand that, like, doesn't matter like what level you're playing. There's always going to be ups and downs.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like understanding, okay, why are things good now? Why am I still motivated, enjoying things? And then when things get bad, what am I going to anchor myself onto? Like, well, what's going to keep me grounded and being able to ride the storm? Because I think that's probably the worst part of being a young competitor is, well, how old are you?
What, 20?
Yeah, so you're still a kid, respectfully. But like
Yeah.
you is being able to ride the storms. Like that's just something that older people are able to do. You have a lot more energy and more intensity, but it's a lot more volatile.
Yeah.
The obvious easy answer is something like Toronto, or American tornado mindset, right? Where when things get tough, a lot of those players have their reputation of not really having the maturity experience to kind of like know how to push through and survive that, right?
Yeah.
But like if you want to be successful, you kind of have to either you get really lucky or you have to be able to find a way to survive that. So I don't know. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Everybody has ups and downs. Sometimes it feels like, well, I'm just unlucky, and it's like, well, no. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna stay here and preach at you. Do you want to look at some gameplay, or do you have any other questions?
Not really. I mean, just going back on that real quick, it's just like just how competitive the game feels to me, honestly. Like if people are trying, if the games feel like actually competitive, like I don't care if I'm losing as long as like people are actually like not throwing the game. Like if you have like a big issue like person on your team, that's when I get or like you know what I mean. But like it's gonna be my team, so I'm gonna like I'm really gonna like put some thought into this. So
Okay,
I don't know.
good.
It's pretty chill.
Yeah, when like I said, when you're getting rewarded for your time put in, it's really, really easy to stay motivated. You know? So part of that is also good on you for training hard. Like that's great. Like you should feel really good about that. But also ask yourself, when I don't feel like I'm getting the same amount of like reward from the effort that I'm putting in, what's going to be my response? I think there's two types of people, right? Well, there should be three types of people. But the two types of people is one, people that quit when they don't get the rewards. Or they're idiots like me who will try even harder, push even harder, but that's not really the solution either. Because what ends up happening is like, let's say that like team stuff goes well and you VOD hard and you push hard and you grind harder. That's not good. And so you're making the situation worse, right? And then there's the wise people, which I try to be, which is just don't change. Ride the storm. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that you should try to aspire to be. I need to try to aspire to be during those tough moments. Because you can't force your way out of a dip. And you can't just not play in a dip either. Otherwise, you're really going to waste your time. You just have to ride the storm. But okay. Good luck, mate. Keep me updated with how that stuff goes. I'm always around if you have any questions. I guess that's one other thing too. Is like you talked about, like, oh, you know, our DMs don't have to be open for a year just because you're not getting coaching.
Yeah.
So if something comes up, and even if it's just a gameplay related question, don't hesitate to message me. I'm always available. I might not respond right away.
I messaged so many people. Don't worry. That's like that's what all my coaches say, and I actually
fair enough.
So many people. So.
Fair enough. Good. Okay. You want to look at some gameplay?
Yep. That's great.
JQ, excuse me.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's like definitely one of the more like skirmishy tanks, which is why I'm like I feel definitely more lost.
You said skirmishy, right?
Yeah, because like Junkerqueen is just a death match. It's not like it's like a like dive where it's like everything has to be like lane control.
Yeah.
And, and ready checks. It's just like someone's low, everyone running on them.
Yeah. I think it's like here's what I'll say. I would say it's like a skirmish in the fact that you have your cycles, all right, your cycles of pressure and so on, but you have like those triggers where, like you said, you commit. Right, you find those windows of opportunity, and that you being the better team to first off create those triggers to happen through good cooldown trades.
Yeah, that's
and also having the mechanics to be able to do it. So what would you describe as like a good neutral setup here?
Definitely you want. I mean, it depends if you're defending or attacking, but if it's completely neutral, like a neutral fight, like you definitely want to get your Genji Lucio on an angle, and so they. Like that dash angle, like acts as backline, and when your Genji says they can go or something like that, or your Soch has rail or something, those are like your triggers. Then 3, 2, 1 jetting in, and your Genji dashes in, and then you look to rail someone, and hopefully your Genji your Sojourn say who they railed or dashed on, but a lot of, and like this kind of like tier 3 kind of stuff, it like doesn't happen, which is like really kind of
honest question: when you say skirmish playstyle, is that an egoist cat term?
I don't even know what that means.
Okay. So that's you're freaking me out because I'm pretty sure it's the exact term. So there's an Overwatch coach that I don't think he coaches anymore, but really, really smart guy. He made videos about you're creeping me out, like the skirmish playstyle. That's literally the term that he uses. And basically the idea is, I'll send you his channel. Basically the idea is that like you're not necessarily having like these cycles of pressure, like 3, 2, 1 push, 3, 2, 1 kite, whatever. It's basically like controlling off angles, controlling space, and like finding windows of opportunity because your positioning is better, because your mechanics are better, because your cooldowns are better. So let me put it for you, for your very specifically your character. Your cover usage is better. Your mechanical actually with your mouse one is better. You're better at hitting Gracies on the enemy JQ. You're going to create more opportunities to commit. You see what I'm saying?
Is Gracie's your knife?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to create more. So you're not necessarily thinking about like what's our wall push cycle like a Ram May. It's more like the lines of like we control off angles, we poke and we prod. And because our angles are better and our CD usage is better, those pokes and prods inevitably force more CDs than they cost us.
Right.
And so for you, it's like, having the mechanics to be able to commit hard, but also really looking at your neutral under a microscope. Like right now, like your cover usage is good. If you're good and you hit this Gracie right here, you will kill this Genji, or you'll force Suzu, or you'll force Shout, right? So this is like the moment of truth here. Whereas this Junkerqueen, her positioning is not as postured as forward, and she's also wasted her knife. You see that?
Yeah.
So which Junkerqueen has the better skirmish potential right now?
Definitely me. But
Definitely you, right?
The margin is like so small, right? Like
it is so small, but it's because you guys don't really have any commit cooldowns, right? So it's like mostly just about like just fishing and fishing and fishing and doing a really good job creating micro advantages. So right there, even this shot right here, like to be honest with you, if you know this Genji doesn't have deflect, you should be shouting and carnaging right now.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, you'll force Suzu, amp, like this guy's dead. Like you don't necessarily need to save it for the perfect opportunity because everybody's a target in this comp, right? Everybody's a target. So if anybody mismanages a cooldown, frankly, this Genji's feeding. He's messed up badly.
Oh,
you need to kill him. You need to kill him right now. And so instead, you're fishing for the JQ. So your initial angle was fine, but you're going too hard on the enemy tank, and you completely missed a huge opportunity right in front of your face. Not to mention, you also did not hit the Gracie on the JQ when you were fishing for her. So you were also operating at a disadvantage there. I mean, this is all fine and all because they messed up worse, but you kind of see what I'm saying, right?
Right.
So your ability as JQ is your mechanics in setting up those engages. Like you have to hit the knife on the Genji, but also they're like, I'm stupid, right? I'm terrible mechanically. But even I would have recognized, oh, that Genji has no deflect and is standing right in front of my face. That's an opportunity.
Okay, yeah.
So the good news is that you don't have to track everything. Look at their comp. What do you need to know?
Probably shout and rail.
Yeah, shout, rail, slide, Suzu, deflect, stuff like that, right? Just look at what's available and be like, is this target accessible, right? That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's all about creating those passive advantages with little advantages, like just little advantages, little things that like you don't have to like commit anything major. Like here, really dangerous, frankly. Really dangerous. You are at a passive disadvantage right now. Why?
I'm definitely just split. Like if
You're
they
split.
shout on me, they
You're
could
split.
definitely force a lot,
Right.
and then they'd have a CD advantage.
Exactly. Exactly. They would use fewer cooldowns to force more cooldowns from your team. And the reason why that is really, really stupid. You're controlling an angle where your team is not controlling.
Yeah.
That's it. So if your team wanted to stuff this choke, this could work really well, but your team doesn't want to stuff this choke. So you're fishing here. You should get punished for this. This Gracie hits the knife, bam, your shot's forced, and your team is screwed. So they've created a passive advantage by just playing around their team. And I'm honestly curious as well. Okay, that's nothing you can do about that. It's just a play. Good. Good. I mean, this is all fine, right? The angles that you're controlling, the cover that you're using, the targets that you're going for, you're just down one.
Yeah.
What should you do?
What should I do?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like this kid is pretty accessible. I could at least force CDs. Even if it's like a shout, I could probably force Suzu or TP.
Yeah.
And then their Queen's isolated.
Yeah. One of the weaknesses of JQ is you just don't have the mobility that a lot of other tanks have. But so then you just take what's given, right? So like right now. Frankly, what's the mistake here?
I just don't hit the knife.
You don't hit the knife, but also more than that. You just don't really hit the shots either.
Yeah.
You notice that? Like, that's a situation where you look at that and you're like, this guy needs to have a TP or a Suzu force or both. There's actually no reason for this not to force the CDs. So meanwhile, while your team is like split off in Narnia and doing a million different things, that's okay. As long as you get your one. And you didn't get your one. You didn't win this cooldown trade even though you had an opportunity to.
Right.
take it. Okay.
I see what you mean though. Like I didn't hit the first set of them, but like my second set was I hit everything, right?
Yeah,
so.
you hit everything. You hit everything. So it's like obviously like this is a much more mechanical tank than other tanks, but I think the way that to look at it is not just the mechanics, but like recognizing opportunities.
Yeah.
And then if the opportunities don't present themselves, then be really, really good at shooting the enemy Junkerqueen in the face and not getting hit with their knife. That's it. So you're not always going to have opportunities like the Sojourn on the far flank or the Genji away in the high ground. You can't really deal with that. But if they're there, again, and you notice also as well, it's like we're talking a lot about micro, but if you mess up the basics, you put yourself in a massive, like this is so stupid, right? Like this is so stupid. Like you're starting again this fight at a disadvantage in this skirmish because you're down 120 HP and you probably should have been down even more, right? Does that make sense?
I will say that's why we wanted to go first, like into them, but Blade because we knew we were ult disadvantage and they said they were left side, so I tried walking, but
so you're gonna like flank around behind?
I don't know. I just thought we were gonna go forward more, but
okay.
It's just one of those like tier 3.
Yeah. I think like obviously we're throwing you under the bus for this because you're the guy in the call, but this could be a communicational issue. That's not necessarily your fault. Just be aware that this is not.
I could have trolled really hard there.
Right. This will be something that you need to kind of iron out in communication. I mean, obviously this is a huge opportunity because even without Blade here, I mean, give me a break, right? You know what this is going to force, right? This is everything. Suzu, Amp, Shout, Deflect. It's going to cost, and this is what are you using? Shout, Carnage? Oh my days. That is cheap.
2 for like.
That is everything. So even without mechanics there, and you notice that one wasn't even mechanical. It was just you set up in a good location. They did not scout you, and they just got freaking smoked. So, yeah, I mean, it's good. And this is where, to me, macro allows you to win through micro.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like a good off angles, good positioning around your team, good ult economy allows your micro to actually hurt worse. And then on the flip side, having really good micro can sometimes compensate for a lack of good macro. The optimal thing is to have both, right? Like this right here, you guys are looking at this, and what's the plan here?
I'm not really quite sure, to be honest with you. I just know I was hiding in the corner with my axe.
Sure.
Because I think like hiding with axe is like kind of OP. Just I don't really. It's like kind of weird some maps. Like
what do you do here? What do you do here at this point in this fight?
I mean, I should just mirror where the tank is going. I think.
What would you do at this point in the fight right now? Here.
I'd call the speed on probably left side.
Right. My point is that you see like there's nothing really for you to do here.
Yeah.
So this is fine.
Yeah.
Right. You might as well go for it. Might not work, but unlike the previous one, because you're not pushed up in front of the entire enemy team, you're not going to get your CDs forced necessarily on an uneven trade. I think my only thing here.
I should have went for Genji.
Yeah, I think you go for Genji here. It's a better cooldown trade.
Low key, I was like really surprised because why would they do that split? Like Genji,
I don't know either.
That's like so weird, right?
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, I agree though.
I mean, beyond that, I don't know that like you guys were down one almost immediately. So the idea of the plan wasn't bad, but yeah.
Yep.
So then this one again, Soj for beat. There it is. Disgracie needs to hit. It does. I don't know that I would commit shout here, but it's not the end of the world that you do.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say that. Do you think I did that on first point too? I don't know if you noticed when I was pushing like this. On like I don't even need shout for this. I could squeeze it. Just
right. It just ask yourself, do I need the speed or the HP? And if the answer is no, then don't use it. Like right now, you're just sitting here trading on the queen. Probably just shoot, chop her. Cut to this corner here, keep shooting her, and then shout to close this here, if at all, right? But I will say that besides the shout, this is huge. You surprised her, you timed it well, you caught her with the Gracie, you hit the Carnage. That shot's not so good. I don't like where you're aiming your shot here, crosshair placement wise. But this is exactly what we're talking about. Now she's kind of whiffed her. Oh no, she didn't whiff it, but overall, like this is what we want. Now, I will say here, that needs to hit.
Right.
That needs to hit. You see it?
Yeah. That's the 1 or 2 shot difference. Could
It really is. But you did good enough at the start that it compensated for everything. You know, like you're not Hanbin, and even Hanbin's not going to hit every knife. So you got to ask yourself, like, first off, am I not making any stupid errors? And then if the answer is, you know, yes, it's like, again, here, this is just, as long as your team is equipped to this, I think this is the one thing that I keep seeing with you. Maybe this is more of a commentary on your team. But like, I like this play, but where's your team? What's going on? Like, we're not even anywhere.
Under?
Yeah, like your Kiriko, well, look at what your Kiriko is doing. Like, so she gets Suzu Force pre-fight. She gets poked down to like 1 HP. And then she's just nowhere in a position to help you at all. You need to talk with your team about this.
Those are just trials, so but yeah.
Okay, yeah, because between this and first point, this is like a big problem. Because this is a great play, but nobody is even here. So so we'll ignore that for now, because this is a huge play. That needs to hit. I would be a little more relaxed with it, you know? Like once you're here.
Yeah.
Also, one other thing mechanically as well. Okay, you did cancel it, but I just keep in mind that like the shot here is really important. So like you're carnaging here. This shot into the knife cancel, that needs to land. So I think I think that's like your biggest combo. You want to open with Carnage because it's the element of surprise. You don't want to give them the shot warning, right?
Right.
But then when you go in the animation cancel shoot into Gracie, needs to hit. It's basically hit scan both the Gracie and your gun, so you can aim directly at the Lucio. You don't have to like lead your shots with your Gracie or so. Anyway, long story short, that needs to hit.
I mean, I don't see, but like this one and like the one on the Queen before, it's like right there, but it's like because I'm leading it, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're leading it too much at that point. I think the intention's okay. I'm at because obviously like there's a huge split between Kiri and Lucio here, so you're thinking, oh, I got this, but then Lucio ends up dodging it, and so then you're kind of screwed. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also, 2 died as soon as I pressed Q. So
yeah, I mean it's fine. The big thing for me is that Lucio needs to die. I think it really comes down to just hitting that combo in Lucio, because that's gonna force your Suzu. That's gonna force your Suzu, and then this is all of a sudden a different story. Because then Lucio,
dies.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I could ult someone else, right?
I want to, by the end, is not just say, hey, you need to be hitting your Gracies. I'd like by the end having like an idea of like how you need to be practicing some of these mechanical things as well. So we'll get a look. So big thing though, macro wise, has been where is your team, setting up angles so like around your team, like even in the trials format, like these kind of mistakes are honestly inexcusable. Looking for opportunities to commit when they provide themselves, not just kind of getting sucked into the tank trade permanently. Okay. And then I think maybe just giving a little bit of extra emphasis on hitting those Gracies when you see opportunities. I think just the overall mindset. Go ahead.
No, I was only finished, but I just wanted to like talk about this point specifically. It feels awful.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know how to retake, because I think my Soj should go here and I should go top, but like but like it's so easy for them to just shout in and run in to that room.
Well, you're taking a really, really bad fight with the ults that you have, I think, is the first thing to point out. Yeah. So first thing you need to look at always when you're talking about retakes is what does my ult economy allow to do retake wise? Okay. And you look at the ults, what advantage do you guys have? It's a small advantage, but what advantage do you guys have? Brawl or poke?
Brawl, definitely.
Brawl, definitely, right? Like JQ and Blade is tough, but beat just easy W versus those, right? And then you can still have your Suzu, and also you're close to Kitsune as well, which is another Brawl ultimate.
Right.
If you retake through here, if they Sojourn ult, not only will you just potentially just die, but you'll get your beat forced in your Suzu force early. Yep. Then you're going to have to Blade into Blade, and they'll have superior positioning and JQ, and then you're dead.
Yep.
This is a retake where you would go in with a JQ soft pressuring up top. Probably, honestly, even like you need to do this rotation, I think, through here, frankly. and with your core, and then leave your like Lucio Curie or Lucio Sojourn poking here. If you have like a Sojourn ult and you didn't want to push in a blade. And then what happens is your core will get met on the corner here, and you guys are just ready to Suzu and kite, kite, while your Sojourn has a superior angle. I understand not wanting to 5-second push through here into a brawl ult advantage, right? So that's where you have to be really snaky, really rat. But for the ults that you guys have, this makes no sense.
Right, I agree. Is it troll to go down under and force point from either side?
No, it's not. It's not. I think you can get to it from here, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can. No, it's not at all. Again, this would be a perfect fight plan for the ults that you guys have, right? Maybe not perfect, but you know, bringing them closer to you guys is not a bad thing with the ults that you guys have. And also, like, it's not exactly like this angle is like necessarily broken for the characters that they have. It's annoying for sure, but it's not troll. No.
Okay.
Opportunity. Poorly executed.
Yeah.
Right there. You have just forced a deflect, and you know that you will force a dash while using how many CDs?
I could have just used nothing.
Use nothing, right? Like, obviously the Gracie is like, unfortunately, like you turn the corner into it. It's not a bad idea. It's fine. But basically nothing. So what the frick, man? Right?
Yeah.
Just keep walking, and then go commit elsewhere. Right? This is probably maybe the most important thing that you need to be looking out for is in the confusing skirmish playstyle. Think, what is my cover like? Who am I shooting? What opportunities are presented?
Okay.
And they're not thinking, because the problem with this comp is that everybody has a defensive CD. So your goal, this is really, really important. Your goal as Junkerqueen is to use 1 CD to force 1 CD, or 0 CDs to force 1 CD.
Okay.
And that 1 CD is almost always Gracie. If you use Gracie to force deflect, beautiful. Suzu, amp, shout, Sojourn slide, perfect.
Okay.
Or you just have superior cover usage and superior positioning and superior mechanics, and you just shoot people and force the shot.
Right.
Then, if they once they use the cooldown, you now have a window with which you are allowed to safely walk onto them, shout, carnage, and so on.
Okay.
Because of your accidental sneak play here, you were able to force 2 CDs for 1, which then allowed you to close a trap door. It's kind of like the meme, you are already dead. You know, that's basically what's happening here. When you walk to the Genji and use his dash and deflect, you're like, oh, congratulations, you lived. But in 5.5 seconds, you're going to be dead.
Yeah, okay.
That's kind of like you created an advantage that snowballs.
Yeah, I don't really think about it like that. I kind of just play a little more instinctively, especially like Junkerqueen.
Right.
Because I'm not quite sure.
Right. And the problem with that is that obviously not only is it obviously can get very messy, like we see right here, but also means that sometimes you will be like, just run in. But that usually implies you spending a lot more resources than you're forcing.
Mm-hmm.
It's fishing is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you use a little bit of your wire, you use a worm, but you fish and you fish and you fish and you fish, and it's a relatively light resource investment. And what do you get for it? Eventually, you'll catch a really nice fish. You know how you don't fish? Jumping in there with a snorkel and like a net and swimming around there with a spark. Like, that's way too much of an investment, right? It's at that point nobody would fish, right? So it needs to be a light investment with the potential for a major payoff, and that's kind of like what you're looking at here. Okay. And then when you hook the big 5-foot carp that's going to win you the fishing competition, then you have my permission to jump in there naked with a net and go for it. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what you're looking at. Like that right there is huge. What you just did with superior cover usage, good positioning around your team. Like, look at your Genji angle, look at your Sojourn angle. This is perfect team play right here. Really nice setup here. You hit a Gracie. You didn't even aim the Gracie. You just aimed it down the choke. Brilliant. And look at what this did. You and your Sojourn are popping off right now. Deflect. What else did we get here? Okay, they used amp to rotate. Their HP is melted. I'm curious to see what the Kiriko does here. Okay, so she chooses, they use shout as well. And see, this is what's funny. They guard their cooldown so miserly. They refuse to use them, but look at what's happened.
They are now split. They're
now split. And this is better than a cooldown advantage.
So my question is though, would it be better if I standed, the box stairs and just axe the doorway when they walk through? Do you think that would be better though? Or
yes and no. Yes and no. What would you not be in a position to do?
Kite.
Kite, yes, but also, can you Gracie from here?
No. Okay.
No, so you can't fish. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Here's what I will say. That would work if they're brain dead or distracted.
Okay.
Do you remember on the end of first point, you did this exact same thing, right? You caught him by surprise and you just win the fight instantly. However, a better team will go, hey, Junkerqueen is here. Let's rotate around and we get this rotation for free here. And now she doesn't have any cover and she's caught kind of in an awkward spot.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I see that.
Or they could even go, hey, she's here. Let's actually quick rotate here and take this rotation here. There's a lot of little things around it. It's not a bad idea.
Right.
It's just you're trying to cash out early. And that may or may not work.
Okay.
This is the more safe, conservative, average Joe, 9 to 5, blue collar play, which is it's good. It's good, honest work. There's your deflect. There's your dash. Now remember, who should you be looking at right now? What have you just seen?
Genji no reflect.
Genji no reflect. And now remember, do you use your carnage on him?
I could just walk at him and shoot at him, and then
you just walk at him and shoot him.
I shout to close the distance.
It's not an if; it's when.
Yeah. Okay.
He will. If he will, he has to. Unless you're my level mechanically. Like you will hit a shot. You will hit a shot on him at this range, and and you will punish him. And then yes, the Junkerqueen's gonna be like, hey, they're gonna be chopping and beating on you. But guess what? You still have your shout. And you still have your carnage. Okay. So when he dashes then out, she dies.
Okay.
Because now it's her versus the world. And you're getting you see how you're focusing on the JQ, but you've earned the right to not focus on the JQ and you're still focusing on her.
Yeah.
There it is. I mean, come on. Come on.
Yeah. No reflecting, he's just one.
No reflect, and they literally just walk right past you. You don't even hit the carnage. You don't hit the Gracie. GG's. Started so cleanly. And it's easy to look at that as like, oh, I missed the carnage and the Gracie on the Junkerqueen, but there's a much more damning problem underlying that. The fact that you had a great fishing moment and you let the big one get away because you were too busy, like, I don't even know, eating sandwiches. What do fishermen do? I don't even know. It was just lazy. It was lazy. Like, you got the perfect cooldown trade and just let them walk away scot-free.
Okay.
Like, okay. You want to hear something spicy? Okay, I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna cook. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I would rather you here shout in here.
Yeah, I could see that. Just because no cooldowns.
Right.
Even if I didn't know that, it could force a beat or something.
And look how close they are too. Right. It's not an unreasonable distance to close, and they've already used shout. I mean, this would make more sense, right? Is it high risk? Oh, absolutely. But maybe you need to clutch this fight, right? Like I think I would rather you do this than focus on the Junkerqueen, just because they're actually available,
I know we were ult-wrecking, they had like 3 ults, and I was like, how the hell do I win this?
Well, there you go. You kill the Genji is how you win this, or kill the Kiri.
Surprise play and clutch. I just needed to do what I did in first point. I just needed to call that again, and I just didn't.
Yeah. Like you said, that boxes hold, that would also be really reasonable. Yeah. I would go for the Gracie here, frankly. I think you were trying to lead it there. Was that on purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Reasonable. And look what happens. Right? That's you. That's you. Now you look at that like, oh, she had to hit a crazy shot. I mean, yeah, but she was at a huge disadvantage because she's floating through the air. You know? And what did you use to do that?
Nothing.
Nothing. You just showed up on a surprise angle. 0. Okay. Again here, why the frick are you shouting?
Yeah.
Let them come to you. Let them boop you. I don't care. You're under no risk. Your positioning is OP. You're like just sitting in the corner. Shoot. Match shout if you want to here. Ooh, that's a good one. We'll take that. Good point pressure now. Relax. That's good. You gotta relax with these carnages. You're giving me an aneurysm.
I'm a little schizophrenic, right?
Yeah. What you'll notice is that like it feels like a lot of your carnages get booped or kited or countered or whatever.
Right.
And so you're kind of
job though, right?
Right, but I'm saying it's probably because you're panicking, like, so you're trying to like catch people by surprise. That's the only way I'll land a carnage. Here's what you could do instead: have good cooldown trades. Look for the Genjis that we saw previously. Nice knife. And And then you won't have to panic as much because they won't have the cooldowns or capability to actually deny your carnage. You know?
Right. Okay.
And then if there's nothing to reach, they're all too far away. You haven't forced the CDs with your Gracie. Okay, just carnage the JQ. Don't lose the neutral trade. It's not that you focusing JQ is bad. Okay, here we go again. Here we go again. You know what I'm going to say.
He has nothing. Just walk at
He's
him.
messed up. He's messed up. These guys are feeding you cooldown advantages for nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. This guy is completely pushed up. He's doing the same thing that you were doing at first point. Like, look at his position in relation to his team.
Right.
Get him. Right?
Yeah.
And as long as your team has the cohesion to follow this down, you didn't even hit the Gracie. You did not even hit the Gracie, and it still didn't matter. They've lost the fight. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Easy, easy. That's all it takes. Don't push beyond your... And well, now, don't make the same mistake here, because I think you're making the same mistake here. You see it?
Yeah, okay.
So now I'm screaming at their queen for not just hitting a Gracie and forcing shot instantly and Suzu instantly. And so what's the problem here? It always goes back to fundamentals, right? What's the problem?
Playing cover.
Well, not just cover. What's happening behind you?
Oh, respawns.
You have respawns, right? And you're holding a choke like as if you have 4 people here and you don't. You have 2. So who's going to lose this cooldown trade?
Absolutely me.
Absolutely you. And has nothing to do with your mechanics. It's just you didn't turn around. And this is not the first time that this has happened in this map.
Right.
You're dead. Or even worse, you have to ult to not be dead. And then also, you want to guess why your Sojourn died? Because look at where she's holding. She's trying to help you.
Yeah, okay.
So she's way too close. Your Kiriko also is not in a position to help her because she's focusing on helping you. All your fault. All your fault. And then you commit beat, JQ ult, disaster. And it all started with you didn't know your guys was in spawn. Professional Overwatch players.
That was terrible.
It was terrible, right?
Wow.
And the reason why I'm being so tough on you with this is because this is such a preventable mistake, right? It's such a preventable mistake. Here's what I will say. All right, if it makes you feel any better. This stuff does happen at the we'll say it, even though it's dead. Overwatch League level.
Yeah.
It does happen. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And so like you just cannot ever let it happen to you. Ever. Never.
I don't really care if you're like whatever to say. Like if I like that was obviously like I fucked up. Nothing else to say, right? Like that's just crazy.
It's bad.
We just invested 2 ults for nothing.
Yeah.
Well, like
I mean, this is like silver stuff, right? Like in terms of like staggering and stuff like that. So yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. The good news is that's happened a few times, right? That's the bad news and the good news. The good news is that that is something that is so easy to fix. So easy to fix. Talk about like hitting your Gracies, man, that's hard, you know? Let me look at this really carefully. It's a little awkward in terms of your team placement. You need to really be careful like with your life here. Obviously, it's a little bit of panic with the communication here. But let's put it this way. This is not necessarily bad from you. I like the little angle here. Surprise. Oh, snap. You actually almost hit this Gracie here. I actually want to see how close this gets. Oof, that's actually really, really well. I like the aim there. You quickly duck to cover here. Carnage. Oh. We were this close to greatness.
Yeah.
The actual only mistake you make here is missing the Carnage. Which is actually unreal, because that's the mistake that you actually missed the Carnage. Yeah, you missed the Carnage. You missed the Carnage. Because yes, your team is like peeling out the Genji, but look at your cover usage.
Maybe I turn my sun sub, bro, on Junkerqueen. Holy.
I think you just need to turn your brain on, to be honest with you. This is inexcusable. But look at your cover usage. You see this?
Yeah.
Look at your shout discipline. You mirror the shout only when you have to, and then look at the direction that you kite. And look at the space that you create. You see this?
Right.
Meanwhile, your team is peeling off 4v1ing the Genji, and you lived a 1v4. That's the crucial part. The Genji lost a 1v4, you lived a 1v4, and you should have lived it even easier. Without even using it. Like, the only reason that you guys are going to lose this is because you took too much damage because you missed the Carnage, and so it forced Suzu.
Yeah.
Which then allowed the JQ come in it for the ult, which maybe you guys don't lose this, but it's going to be awfully... Yeah, okay, yeah. So, nice job. I like really nice job. Just hit the Carnage. I can't believe I'm saying this, but hit the Carnage on the Junkerqueen.
The biggest target. It
Yeah.
didn't, well,
But do you understand what I'm saying in that? You took an
Yeah,
angle,
absolutely.
you forced the Lucio amp, you almost killed him with the
it was
Gracie.
more accidental, but yeah. Because like, it
Right,
was just
but
like
look
a
for these
thing.
things. Look for these things,
Right.
you know? Like, look for these things. Like, anywhere where you could, like, right here. This is it. He's dead. This Genji is, like, seriously cooking. This entire game has been cooking.
Yeah.
This guy is acting like he's playing versus double sniper. I don't even know. Okay. Where's your team?
I don't know. That's the issue. I just need to turn around, right?
Got me?
Yeah.
And this is another question, too, where you can ask yourself, you know, like, where do we want to hold? Because you could even look at this ult-wise and be like, okay, we're going to Kitsune Rush, and they're going to beat and Sojourn ult. Do we want to hold here? Maybe, maybe not. But you certainly want to hold here.
Actually, I absolutely called that. Hey, can we go for rush first? But they have beats. Dude, do we want to kite or fight the beat in the rush? I absolutely called that. I will.
Sure.
My life on it.
Good,
So,
good.
so we actually do kite this.
Good. This is called winning a neutral trade. Watch this. Nobody else to go for besides the JQ, right? So what do? You hit the Gracie.
We have to hit each other. We both pull each other. We both act.
You know why you want it?
We both shout. No, I mean we use cleanse and they didn't though, so I'm not actually quite sure.
I'm giving you favoritism. That's why. Good disengage. You didn't lose the neutral trade. Let's put it that way. Yes. He's cooking. Kill him. Kill him. You could even use a Gracie if you want to. There it is.
A reflect.
The only thing I would say here is like once you pull him, what's your motivation here to then go look at a Junkerqueen?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
could hold the pull too.
Yeah.
Like, he just was at a weird angle. I heard reflex, so I'm like, okay, I can't just chase this guy because, but like I could.
But remember, it's not just about chasing. We can actually just shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
You know. So it's like I appreciate your attention to Gracie the Genji there, but you could have given him a little bit more attention there.
I missed every shot.
I mean, this is what I would say is fine. Good. Yeah. I assume you guys are playing 5 or 4. Okay. Looks okay. I think maybe your Sojourn could be a little bit further forward, but this is all right. Oh, I like that. I like what I see.
I think I just missed. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. This is the fact that she's here. Oh no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Dang it,
I don't think I do either.
You get
I tried
yanked
cleaving
out.
it.
Oh my gosh, you got scammed by a pixel. Look at the frame of the Suzu.
Oh.
Oh no, she TP'd. Okay, so never mind. I was wondering. Wait, what? She just TP'd in the air and she didn't go anywhere.
I'm here.
That's crazy. Okay, anyway.
Junkerqueen.
Yeah, so this is okay, I guess. It's just one of those things where it's like it just could. If hitting that Carnage forces the Suzu a little bit sooner, and then you can stay on her a little bit longer, and then yeah.
And obviously I missed shots.
Missed shots, and then honestly, like at this point, like again, you really need to stay on that Kiriko. I think just given like the proximity here, like you have to get her out. It's like one of those things where it's not sustainable either way. But yeah, okay, let's keep going.
Us, yeah.
Keeping you on your toes.
Yep.
All right. Okay, they are cooking. Target priority right here.
I just didn't need to act right away. I could have just knifed first.
I think a shout is fine. I actually don't even think the Carnage is bad just because of how close they are. I just think you need to be very clear like who you're going for right now. It should probably be Genji or Lucio here. Good. Way too rushed with these carnages. Good. Good. Now, even though you didn't finish the kill, she's now totally isolated, so it means the queen you can kill. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Okay, where are we fighting? I think we're all here. Yep. Good.
I think I can definitely be a little bit more patient too with like.
I
my
think so too.
CDs.
I think so too. Remember, you know, like with like a Winston, where your mindset's like you don't really get the kill immediately. You're kind of like fishing, prodding, pushing resources, and then executing later. You kind of see what I'm saying? It's really the same thing with Queen. Like, you know, the difference between you and Winston is Winston has no way of forcing those CDs without some sort of at least a soft commit, right? Whereas you do have ways of forcing those CDs without actually committing anywhere, without really moving anywhere. Let's put it that way, right? Because you have Gracie, because you have an actual weapon that does damage. You could sit here and shoot the Genji or play the cover and throw a knife at Lucio and force an amp and force a little bit of attention here and there. And that's kind of like what you need to be doing. And then when push comes to shove, is that it? Yeah. When push comes to shove, you are in a position either CD wise or advantage wise where you can hard commit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. We have more time. You want to look at something else?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Monkey. I think my big issue on Monkey, by the way, is like I don't ready check. Like I think I need to do this like turn around thing more. Like, doing
Shocker.
like because I think I'm getting my value, but other people aren't getting theirs. Does that make sense? So like I think it's like that issue I have is like just global for me.
Yeah. Low patience. It's a very common tank problem. Hottie used to have that problem all the time. Who else used to have it all the time? Don. Remember Don from the Paris Eternal?
Yep.
Used to have that problem all the time. It's a lot of proactivity, leadership mindset, but where it can just kind of go on your solo mission and you're just going to do your job and just pop off, but your team's not ready. Yeah. It's fine. Good. Let me think about this again. So a lot of Winston when in the Brigmere is about like being really creative with your jump.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. I honestly wouldn't mind if you jumped over the roof this way.
Okay.
I know it feels like one of those things where it feels like, oh, it's too much of a hard commit.
It's not even like that. It's just like he just walks forward. I think it's like
right.
Right.
But that's fine. You want her to walk forward. She doesn't want to walk forward. She wants to stay safe here. If she walks forward, there's more risk involved, and also her sightlines are worse.
Okay.
And you have to think more. You got to think more selfishly about like what the best Wistons do is they do one of three things. They damage, no whip shot, no sleep. This here is like, oh, I don't get slapped. That's great. But you 100% get whip shot and you 100% don't do any damage.
Okay.
So then I think not so much limit testing, so much as like experiment more. Like this is all fine and all, but what if you were able to bubble tighter on this corner or even do like a short jump here and bubble this corner? I don't know. I want you to experiment more with playing around the brig. In these comps, especially in situations like these where you have jumps that are available to you, just to see if you can avoid the whip. Because remember, whip is so important, not just because of that, but it's also the inspire. No whip means armor pack used on Ana.
Okay.
Right? So just keep that in mind. It's like one of those things where it's like you look at this and you're like, well, what more could I have done? It's always about like, what more could you have squeezed out of that engage without dying?
Right.
And if you can find something, then you will win your team fights.
Okay.
There's obviously going to be bigger mistakes and bigger things to talk about as well. But yeah.
Okay.
He's trolling. He's trolling. Yeah. Okay. I would keep looking for their DPS here. I would keep looking for this. Even if it's a Tracer, that 50 damage is really annoying. Keep looking for that. Yeah, instead of like just using your armor pack on main, on the Winston, try to fish for their DPS, especially if they're staging on angles. Because for every 50 damage, think of it this way. You're trading a right click for an armor pack.
Yeah.
Not always, but it's often something that will happen, and I think that's something that important.
Especially on a Tracer.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, really, really annoying. Yeah, this is good. Good discipline with your bubble here. Obviously, like, you know that you're trying to like let them come up towards your team. Only good if your backline is pre-rotated.
yeah, I think this is again just a ready check thing because like
Are you
I know
calling
what
this
I
now?
want to do. I have no idea. I don't remember, but like the fact is like even if I was, I shouldn't be, right?
Yeah. And that's such a Brig skill check as well. She should 100% have to whip that. And it's not because like, oh, there was a better engage available. It's because there wasn't a better engage available. So you shouldn't have taken that at all. Let him come out. Let him come out. And then if you want to, if you were to nano this, how would you set this up?
How would I want to be nanoed or like what?
No, how would you set up a nano engagement backline here?
I mean, we obviously want to like walk into them because we have nano advantage. So like,
See, that's your first mistake. That's your first mistake. It's not.
It's not.
You need to come from an angle.
Is it okay if like Tracer comes from that angle though and cut and for like cut?
But remember, when you're playing on a Brig, who needs the element of surprise more? Who's going to get denied? Monkey. Right. Usually you're thinking DPS comes in from the off angle, tank comes through main. But when you're playing Monkey without a bubble, Zarya bubble, right? You have to be more sneaky with your engages. You have to be more selfish.
I just have to let them out and then jump like right above them. And
let them out. Yeah. Obviously, is the best answer. But like, let's say that you absolutely had to. Like, we have to go fast. They have 5 volts. This is the last fight, the Overwatch Grand Finals. You would never, ever, ever play honest Winston. Never. You would always do something scammy. You would drop here, and then you would save your jump, and you jump in this direction. The only way you'd make it work.
Okay.
Only way. Because it will always be. There is no way that Fearless or Gushue would be able to outplay Whip Shot here.
Right.
You just can't. Like, this Whip Shot is going to land, and there's no possible way that you could bubble it earlier or sooner. It doesn't matter. It's not going to matter. The only exception to that rule, maybe you could bait whip, bubble early, bait whip, and then get landing damage if the Ana doesn't sleep you in time. Because technically, if you get some Tracer Tickle, you could do the landing combo. I guess that's one other detail to be aware of is that like it's sometimes okay if you could bubble early, save jump, because landing combo, zap, melee cancel is close to 200 damage. Right. It's close. You will need some Tracer Tickle as well, or you need her to take like a right click first. But yeah, all that being said, is biggest thing: let him out or be sneaky. Those are your options. This is perfect. This is what we want. You see?
Yeah.
Now it's on them for not scouting you because I don't feel like this is particularly brainiac. But this is perfect. Like, what is their Briggs and Ana supposed to do about this? Are we getting damage? Yes. I don't even know. She has Proc Inspire, right? I think she's Proc Inspire late. Yeah, she Proc Inspire very late. So look at that. 1 pack, 2 packs. She might even triple pack. Did she triple pack? She might have triple packed. 1, 2, 3. I think she just triple packed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, talk about maximum value here. That's also Sleep Dart. You can keep going.
My problems were a little too desired.
Fearless study, XC. Oh my gosh, no way you don't. No way. Kill her. That's okay. That being said, okay, so ignoring the mechanical aspect, ignoring the fact that your Widow just freaking died almost immediately, that is how you want to set up engages.
Okay.
You had the element of surprise, right? You either play totally honest Overwatch, play totally around your team's LOS, or you act like a rat. There's no in between. And by that, I mean, you could just do a normal jump here in a moment. Why? Because your backline, in theory, will be in a position to help you out.
I'm not
I'm
looking
really,
for Widow as much as
yeah, I was just about to say that I am shocked that, especially with how much this Widow's giving away, that you're not taking that.
not use my ears, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's not even just using your ears. It's like that. She should be priority number one regardless. Like I would be. I was gonna say even when this Winston jumps you here, I would be like zap him a little bit, you know. But I would still be like checking my corners here and like peeking here and peeking there. Like it's actually unreal that you're way too tunnel in this on a brig.
Yeah.
Cheeky.
Do you think Monkey is still like best, or like do you think like you can make a case for D.Va? Because I know a lot of contenders are just playing D.Va,
This?
and
I think Monkey's just a skill check. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
If you have the skill to play Monkey, Monkey is almost always better. The old economy alone just makes it so much better.
Okay.
But contenders, especially in NA, players are bad in Monkey. I can't not name a single good Monkey player in NA. I guess Mikey is all right. I know like there's some other decent ones, but like I don't. It's just a skill check, really.
I mean, even Hawk versus what was it, Kaluge was playing just D.Va, right?
Yeah, but they're Hawk and Kaluge, you know. So of course they're gonna play D.Va.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe this is just a wash. Yeah. Okay. Let's take some notes.
Okay.
Junkerqueen. What needs to be practiced?
Be more patient on CDs.
Okay.
I need to recognize like the CD trade a little bit better. Like, I could just not use anything and just walk at people and all this other stuff. But I'm like kind of forcing my own CDs for that reason.
Okay, here's this.
Really
And
looking around could be a little bit better. Position check my team, or whatever you want to call it. Definitely got my retakes. Learned a little bit more about retakes. Because like I just like kind of like I don't know. I just like kind of it's a copycat game. I feel like that's like a lot of Overwatch. Everyone just whoever's above them they just copy. So like they see people split on retakes. So we'll split. So I see like a contender team do it. So I'll do it. You know that's like.
It's about thinking why, right?
Yeah.
How did those points look?
Trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. I think my coverage is pretty good. I think I recognized a lot pretty well, like mid fight, like if I needed to push or pull. Just
Sure. Notes look good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Winston, what do you got?
I need to experiment a little bit with jump angles, and because I'm an off tank player, so I like being able to run. I mean, obviously I've put work into like every tank, but Winston is definitely like one of the probably highest skill heroes in the game. I'd say. It's just getting better and better at it. I definitely need to like time my engagement better. My timing's probably terrible. Like ready checking my team and like recognizing like my backline push. I just need to honestly like I if I was like practicing like privals every day, like there's a code and shit. I was like going crazy with that stuff back in the day, but it's been a while.
Sure.
Maybe keep up with that a little bit more every once in a while.
Sure.
So
How do those notes look?
Trying to think anything. I honestly I just don't even understand dive, to be honest. I understand but it's like all about like angle control, which is like if my tracer just looking angle perma, that's just not my fault, and then so we can never have that like 2-angle dive, right? Or if my Ana can never hit an anti the entire game just because.
Well, keep in mind that when it becomes a dive mirror, it's about controlling those angles, but you don't always get the opportunity to commit from both angles because sometimes what ends up happening because the teams are fighting for those angles,
right?
Dives are won and lost before a dive even happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like my tracer just one clip 3 dives in a row or something like that.
Oh, right, exactly. So like the idea is that like that. Well, then you've like during the setup for the dive, you lost the setup phase. Like most dives, in my opinion, especially at a higher level, are often won or lost in the setup phase.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially non-Sombra Tracer mez, because Sombra Tracer was a slightly different dive because it was easier to set up back in the day because the Sombra just didn't get scouted, right?
Right.
But most actual real dives, especially now that Sombra rework and all that kind of stuff, are going to live and die in the setup phase. Like people taking angles, you took too much damage, you forced resources, you dove backline to zone them. They used a triple pack on the Ana, so then the Tracer doesn't get support, so then the Tracer dies, or you force an anti-A, so then the Ana, your backline's safer, and their Winston does more, and then the Winston dies. It's actually really like, Ana Brig, like, living doesn't really mean that you did a bad job, and it doesn't really mean that they did a good job.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about, like, the best dive that you had that entire match, you actually lost that fight, and the Ana Brig lived.
I forced like 4 packs on it.
You forced like 3 packs, you forced sleep, you forced anti-nade, and you didn't take like almost any damage at all. Like that is textbook. And it was good because you had the element of surprise, your bubble placement was good, your dancing was good. It was great. Yeah. And so that's kind of like, you need to look at those fights and be like, it doesn't always reward you for doing the right thing, but that's exactly what dive is. Dive is controlling angles, controlling space, and winning those. It's the same thing as Junkerqueen. What can I use for the same amount of CDs and get a better result?
Yep.
That's Overwatch in general. Any questions?
Overwatch 2, it's like 5v5. It's a lot more individual based.
I'd say it's a little more individual based, but no, I would say not. I think there's less tank. I mean, there's the loss of the tank synergy, right? But it's the same team game. Like it's the same team game. I mean, like that Hollywood is like a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
No, you have like the perfect engage, perfect dive, but your team makes errors elsewhere and it doesn't matter. Or, the first point was a perfect example as well, where it's like, you didn't really die or feed, but you didn't do near enough pressure on that backline. And so then indirectly they're able to support their tank more. And you're like, how did I lose? Well, you got to go back all the way to where was your value provided and it wasn't enough. So
I think kind of crazy too that their monkey just jumped from main and just onto our high guard and insta-killed people. It's like, I don't know. I felt like that was kind of...
Well, that's the thing is it was a higher risk, higher reward play, but did he do more damage than you? Yes. Did he get whip shot?
No.
He didn't.
Yep.
And did he get slapped?
Nope.
Don't think so. So how much of that is your backline's fault versus how much of that is it had a better engage plan than you did? That's also something where you can go back and like, you can go back and just look at the VOD and be like, okay, did my backline mess up? Was there something that I can learn from him? Did he bait whip first? Was his engage angle good? You got to ask yourself, why is that monkey getting away with more?
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think I'm good for now.
Okay.